Hey everybody, this is Mais, my Karibyan, another episode that I prepared for all my followers. I want to thank everybody who's supporting this channel. And as a reminder, this channel about financial services. And time to time, I bring great guests that can bring value and education about success, finances, and in general, those individuals created something great with their life, and their example can also be a good example for you, for your family, and you can take whatever points they share and apply it in your life. I'm excited to introduce today's guest. We have a lot of things in common in our backgrounds. We started insurance business years ago, and we know each other for many years. And I learned a lot of things from her because she's very good at what she does, and we work in the same office. Very excited to introduce a great colleague of mine, Tina Zakaryan. Tina, how are you?
Oh, my Sean, thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Well, I want to thank you for that you took your time and you came today's podcast, and I'm sure we're going to have a great time and share a lot of good ideas with our listeners.
Yeah, thank you so much for asking me.
Yeah.
I actually did want to come to your podcast. So when you asked me about a week ago, what was my answer?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I did want to be here, and I'm so privileged to be here.
Yeah.
Anything that we can do, bringing some value to your listeners, that's what it's all about today.
Yeah, I mean, Tina, I know you very well, and I know a lot of people know you because you've been out there. You have your own, Instagram channel. You've been in the finance industry for many years, so I'm sure a lot of the people who are gonna watch, they already know you, but some people might, see you first time. Introduce a little bit your background. How do you started in insurance business?
So the insurance industry, my career start was in banking.
Okay.
I loved banking, Mais, because I was able to help people, talk to them, communicate them, and help them with their money. So I loved that background. And the number one reason I came into the industry was with my mom. My mom.
Did she drag you in, or?
She actually just asked.
She just asked.
She said at that time when she was in the industry, she was struggling because there were so many licensing certification. And she said, I need you to just come and help me.
I see.
So I just joined to help her in the office, help her with these big words, contracts that she needed broken down.
Yeah.
And then over time, I realized, Mais, this was so close to banking, and I loved my banking background. So the transition was very smooth, and I fell in love with the insurance industry.
I see.
And I've been in it for over 19 years.
19 years.
In the financial services industry for more than that. So this is what I love. This is what I'm really passionate about.
Yeah.
So it was a family. It was my mom joining to just help my mom, and I fell in love with it throughout the process.
And let's say hello to your mom, Guyane. Hello.
Hi, Mom.
We love you. So, Tina, when I said we have similar background, I also want to say that, we're both married. We both have 3 kids. And what I want to ask you is that a lot of people in our culture, especially me and you are being Armenian, once they create a family and they have a kid 1, kid 2, especially women's, they kind of, stop dreaming, or they don't go after what they want in life. And not everyone, I want to say that, but majority of them bring their kids as an excuse. Now, how did you overcome that portion? Because I know you so long, you've been working hard before, you had a family, and now you have 3 kids and you still have that drive. What drives you, and what advice you can give to all the women and parents and moms?
I love feeling like I'm productive.
Okay.
And I love being a mom.
Okay.
And I've raised 3 beautiful children. So you finding that balance, because bottom line is being a mom is a part of you, but that can't be your whole.
I see.
So creating something that you're passionate about on the side gives you a sort of an identity as a person as well. Yes, I'm a mother, but at the same time, what does Tina want to do with her life? Because so I've known that, and I've always I've had transitions in my business, Mais, because in the beginning, I just got married. I was having kids. So I was full-time into the business, doing many hours. And then right before family was growing, I knew I had to make a shift in my business.
Yeah.
So what happened is I started focusing on creating systems
I see.
because I knew no longer can I do the same amount of time in my business.
So you start working more smarter and just putting systems in your life.
I had to. So right before leaving going on maternity leave, now my time was shrunk. So I had to figure out, now that I know the basics of my business, when I'm there, whatever I would do in 8 hours, how can I make it do the same amount of work in
Less
4?
time.
What systems can I do? And throughout my business career, you know what really helped? Advancement of technology.
Wow. So you worked on you all the time to make it yourself better.
Make myself better and make my business flow without me always putting my 100% attention. So that's another important thing. That's how I was able to have both.
Got it. Now, Tina, I like to ask, very questions that's going to sometimes disturb the listeners. When I see a lot of families and they always say, you know what, I can't do this. My kid, whether it's the school as an excuse, is the timing. You already mentioned you have a system, but how do you find that balance? How do you really not take that as an excuse? And I see you turn everything into a reason and motivation. How do you do that?
The way I wanted to be is I wanted to show them that, yes, I'm your mom and but at the same time, I can make a change in the world because my daughter, I wanted her to know that, yes, you're going to be a mom, but at the same time, you can run your own business. And I wanted, because you can, and anything you really want to, you really can. So it's the fact
mindset,
that the fact is, how bad do you want it? And I knew I wanted it, and I wanted both.
Okay. Now, what if things get challenging? Something you try doesn't work. How do you overcome that?
I have to tell you, one thing I admire about you, Mais, is you quickly change. So if something doesn't work out, you don't hold on to it. Yeah. And you switch and you pivot and that's something I've admired from you.
Thank you.
I've learned from you from working with you side to side.
Yeah.
So I've learned a lot from you. And what I've been doing is I don't hold on to things. So let's say you're about to launch a project.
Okay.
So a lot of people, they want it to be 100%. There is no such thing as 100%.
So you just take action.
Yes, take action. I look at it as if the project is about 70% there, it's worth the launch because you're going to get the other 30% through trial and error.
Yeah, yeah.
And
so you're not afraid of doing mistake.
I'm not, but I do sometimes. I'm a little hard on myself. I am pretty hard on myself. I'm working on not being so hard on myself. So making those pivots, dropping, okay, this project isn't working. Yeah. Let's let that go and go to the next one. That is a personal challenge. I'm constantly battling. Yeah. But I've come a long way myself throughout many years of being in business, letting go and pivoting.
Yeah. Now, I know, I am a big fan of reading, and I know you are too. I remember last time, if I'm not mistaken, you told me you were reading the 12-week year. Am I saying the title correctly?
You are.
Now, why do you read and how reading impacts you? And how do you find the time to read on top of all what you're doing?
About 6 or 8 years of my career, I was just reading personal development.
Wow.
And with the personal development books, Mais, it's like it's a character building. You know what it is? Because it's not interesting. It's not like a novel mystery. So you kind of have to keep so it was me learning to pay attention. You got to apply it in you, right? And paying attention, absorbing it because you're already in your work, you're working, and then it's like it's like a double shift of your life. Yeah. So listen, I would read, and at that time, Mais, I didn't know that I was actually absorbing all this information. The example I gave you with the 70-30 rule, those are things I've learned. And throughout those years, here I am reading a book in the evening. I think that I'm not absorbing the info. Yeah. But your brain is. Your brain is a sponge. You think it's not. Yeah. And going through, I've done the 12-week year. Yeah. I've done the power of focus, many
I remember
other.
that book. You told me.
That was actually my favorite. I did start my personal development chapter of my life with the power of focus.
Focus. That's a
And
good one.
that really helped me focus and not pivot from looking at so many details to looking at what matters.
Got it.
What matters and what is it that is going to get you to your goal.
Yeah. Now, Monday to Friday, I believe most of your weekends you're with the family. Now, what time your business starts, what time you start, and how do you start that mindset?
You know, Mais, there's something interesting. The mornings that I wake up and I do Legree workouts, which is an amazing workout. If you have not tried it, you have to try it.
Okay.
Those mornings, Mais, the ones that I have I do 6:30 Legree class. Those days that I do.
Hold on, what time you wake up then?
5:45. I'm at the house 6:30.
Oh my goodness.
I'm at the studio at 6:30.
Okay.
So those days that I get my body flowing and my blood flowing in my body, I have my business, my day goes beautifully. The days I work out.
The days a lot of people say, I'm tired, I don't want to work out. It's the opposite, huh?
Yeah, Mais, because that's what it is. It just gives I kind of get a sense of my day goes because I made the decision. I did something for myself. I woke up, I took care of my body, and my mind is awake, your blood is flowing, and I just have the rest of my day.
No excuses.
I've tested this. The days I do not work out in the morning, it's not the same. I do not get the same results.
Well,
I don't get the best of myself.
Let me add more. I follow you on Instagram, and you go hiking on weekends. Hold on, how many hours a day you have? You have more than 24?
I am a morning person.
Okay.
My mornings are, you got to know who you are. I have a friend, she's a night person. She gets everything done at night, but me, I'm a morning person, so I max out my morning.
Got it.
That's going to be my concentrated work, which is creating social media content, which is studying a case for the client.
Yeah.
And working out because afterwards I'm tired. I'm not a robot. I do get tired.
And Tina, your example, it's first for you and it's also for your kids. Today morning I did a video about, parenting, and one of the things I was reading and I was studying, and I want to implement that as a parent to my kids. A lot of times we don't have to say what to do. We have to just show. So good job on that. You don't even have to tell them anything. They're gonna watch. They become just like their parents. So you're a good example. So I appreciate. That's a good example for others.
Yeah, growing up, I've always watched people more than I listened to them because that was important for me. So that's what I took from my experience in the past. So you can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? So that's important for me, and that's what I want to do. Leave, and when my kids remember, okay, what was mom doing? What was she doing? I want them to remember that she was able to do it. She took care of herself.
Yeah.
Going to exercise is a form of self-care, and it boosts your business, your day.
Yeah.
So if you're a business owner and you are not implementing your start of your day with taking care of your body, you are missing out. Take that moment, take care of yourself, and you'll notice it over time. You'll be like, if you track that, you notice those days, wow, I'm on fire.
Yeah.
And that's where you want to be
Now,
every day.
Now, do you watch Armenian these shows?
Ooh, I don't. I do watch a lot of Netflix. I'm currently watching.
You know why I asked that?
Why?
Because
Tell
that
me.
takes a lot of time from people, and they don't realize how many hours each family or each couple spends on watching things like that. And when I say, hey, go exercise, go read a book, what's the first excuse they bring? I don't have time.
Yeah.
So I think, managing your time is very important. So
yeah, I don't watch the Armenian series.
yeah.
I do watch Suits, and that's like the business perspective. So if I'm going to put my time, of course you want to disconnect, right?
Yeah.
Every so often you want to disconnect from and just zone out, relax. You got to do it.
Yeah.
So that'll be like I'll watch something that can bring me something value to my business.
Got it. Got it.
And so I just did watch Suits coming here. So
now let's little bit talk about our business.
Yes.
Me and you are in the insurance field, and we've been doing it for a long time. Why you like or love insurance? How the insurance business change your life? Probably one aspect is financially, and how do you use the business to impact other people's life?
Oh yeah, Mais. So
Because we're in a good business.
We're in an amazing business.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why I love this business, because of the residual. If I'm going to be working hard for the next 10, 20 years of my life, I want to build a business that can give you that residual
income. Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of industries that gives you residual.
Absolutely.
It's what? Entertainment and what? Sports? I
think we can do it. We're good.
Entertainment, maybe. Like here you are.
Yeah.
So that's why I love the industry. And throughout the years, Mais, how many lives have we impacted?
Especially delivering some of these checks and death benefit checks. I know it's sad for the family, but we impact their life financially.
You know, them coming to this dark place in their life, and when they first came to you and they got this contract, they get their policy. No one, they're not getting it because they're going to get sick. Just life happens.
Yeah. Yep.
And here they are, Mais, that time in their life when they're the lowest. The banks are not going to help them because they're not going to give them any loans. They've been sick. They're out of work.
Yeah.
And when they're low, and at that time, family will help you. But how much can really family do?
Yeah.
And at that moment when they call you, right? If you're going to file a claim, they call you with that low voice.
Yeah.
You already get that feeling in your stomach. Call. It all kind of starts like this. Tell me if you've had it, where they call.
I'm sure.
They call and there'll be something about their health insurance.
Yeah.
I need this plan and I want this hospital. And a few times I've discovered they might have even forgotten what amazing benefits they have. And they're calling just to make up insurance plan change. And you're like, hold up.
Something
why?
happened?
Yes. Now you are like uncovering. And you're like, remember, I wrote you that amazing policy years ago. Yeah. I'm able to help you tap into a pool of money when you need it the most.
What's the most unique, touchable delivery or scenario you had?
Oh.
I'm sure there's many, but which one touched you?
I've had the most recent one that I remember was a close friend of mine's who got stage 3 ovarian cancer. And we filed a claim right before COVID. Yeah. And so when we filed the claim, it was so much uncertainty. And she was worried. She said, do you think that what will happen? They will not pay my claim. And she was worried. She's a mom of 2 kids, very professional. She was in the medical field. And when she called me and she said, Tina, like we've sent in all the paperwork, Mais, within a few days, she called me and she said, Tina, they just put under $500,000 direct deposited in my bank account. This was pandemic broke out. So much
around
uncertainty.
2000.
Yes.
Okay.
So much certainty. Pandemic, people are worried. People are holding tight on their money. And the companies, that's the amazing companies we work with, Mais. We're so privileged to have them. And our clients are privileged to work through us and be able to have these benefits. When she called me and I was about to hop in the shower, I cried. I cried in the shower because it was someone so close to me. And I knew it was like, why do these bad things happen to good people?
But deep inside, you also felt good in the fact that you really did that contract for her.
Oh my God, that excitement, it was bursting out of me, in tears.
Yeah,
it was that exciting tears. I was so happy that I was able to. It did change their lives, and it did change her life.
Yeah.
Of course, she used that money. She used that money to go try experimental treatment that her health insurance wouldn't cover. Yeah. They bought an investment property to bring them a stream of income. They bought a real estate property to have that.
Because of that check.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they were able to do so much with that money. And yes, unfortunately, she didn't survive the illness.
So she passed away?
She did pass away a few years later. But those years that she had, that money really changed the quality of her life.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was able to travel with her
Yeah.
kids. They did a lot of traveling those years. So that's what it does. How does that power that an insurance agent has to help the client in need? There's no better no better feeling.
Yeah. I have many stories too myself. I don't want to go into it, but I do want to mention that it's so important. If you want to be successful in life, you got to do something you love, and that will give you that energy, because what is it, 60-70% of our life we spend at work. If you're going to go to office or work and don't enjoy it, then you're not going to have a lot of energy or happiness. So I think both of us chose a good career that we love. So
it's about people.
Yeah.
We're people. We love to talk, communicate, share, help.
Yeah.
I feel so much good about myself when I've helped someone.
Got it.
So that's the industry you want to be in.
Yeah. Now, so Tina, as being a full-time in a business and full-time mom, how do you plan family fun time, and what would you advise to all the Armenian moms out there and wives out there so they have that fun time too? How do you manage that, and how do you plan that?
First of all, definitely do something you love.
Okay.
You gotta love it, because when you love it, then it's not like I have to work. It's like I get to work.
Yeah.
Change your words around. I get to be a mom. I get to be a working mom. So those change in your words really does shift your mindset.
Okay.
So whenever I get to spend the time with the family, I'm here. I'm mom. I'm cooking dinner. I'm in my zone. But remember, I'm also a business mom, so my phone might be ringing. Clients might be text messaging. So your mind does shift. It's not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
It's not going to be perfect. Something you got to constantly work on. I work on myself all the time. Being like, okay, Tina, you are in the kitchen. Be where you are.
Got it.
So that's going to happen.
Sometimes it's not easy.
It's not easy, Mais. It's not. But
our phones are always ringing. You're right.
Your business is business.
Yeah.
It's it's not a clock in, clock out. Your business is always running. So but over time, you, as long as I'm a big systems believer, create systems that can help you.
So ahead of the beginning of the year, you just kind of sometimes put the events ahead of time. So in March or in June, you have this place you're going to go.
You mean vacation-wise?
Vacations, yeah.
The cool thing is I have a friend who's a travel agent. She makes sure we book our travels.
That's a good one.
She's great at that. So that helps quite a bit. And of course, when the beginning of years of your business, when the kids are younger, it is kind of out of your control, and be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because things change, things shift.
Yeah,
be okay with now it's like
be
this.
flexible, huh?
Yeah, just like you have to. It has to be flexible. Life is not fixed. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
So be flexible. Be kind to yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. I think a lot of moms, they give themselves a guilt trip when they have to work. I did it in the beginning, and I said, if I get to do this for my family, so I can take them to that vacation.
Got it.
And get the kids involved. Get your family involved. If I'm going to go to an appointment in the evening, I just came home and mom has to go again to another appointment at night.
You take the kids too sometimes?
Sometimes.
It happened to me, and it's so much fun.
Who's your client? I will take them.
Yeah.
But I'll tell them, I'm doing this because remember that trip we want to go to? They need to understand. Communicate.
Yeah.
I'm doing this because of this, and this is what it's going to do. And then I come home, and they're going to ask, how was that appointment?
Did you close?
Did it work? Did it work out? And they keep you accountable, which is great. So your kids, if you team up with them, communicate them. They are smart. And this day in the world where they have access to all that information, they're going to get you, and they will not hold you to it. So definitely let your kids not be the reason why you're not chasing your dreams.
Awesome. Well, Tina, the conversation is going so great, but, because of time, I want to ask you probably last question. What would you, maybe 3-4 tips you'll give to all the moms out there about maybe not stop dreaming, about, going after their goals, and no matter what happened in their past, maybe they tried, they failed. how would you motivate them to wake up again?
Yeah, let's start with that failure part of it. Of course, no one likes failure. And what I do know is the environment changes, the world changes, you change. We do have a lot of agents that would want to join and they'll be like, I tried this industry, it didn't work out for me.
Yeah.
And they'll just hold on to that. That fear of failure is really tough. It's something that every one of us struggles and challenges that. But what I tell is like, Matt, you came along that time, information was different, systems, your mindset, the environment. So you cannot just one experience, like a baby learning, trying to walk. They fall once, that's it. This is not working out for me.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things I've actually learned from my kids, where whether it's getting up, trying again. Mais, when your kids want something, they're going to ask you how many times and how many different ways.
I don't count anymore.
We can learn so much from them. And I implement a lot of my business with what I've learned from my kids. So it's, don't give up. That was that one experience. I would tell you, if your kid came to you and said, oh, I'm going to quit karate, what would you tell them? Would you let them, okay, let's quit? Like, you wouldn't do that to your kids. Why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah. And if you do, you show another bad example.
What do you,
if you quit, they're going to learn quitting mindset. If you win everything, they're going to have winning mindset.
Yeah, or and then, of course, try different ways.
Yeah.
This didn't work. Okay, what can I do? Like, evaluate your process. Evaluate what you're doing. Yeah. I actually even have a laundry process at home, Mais.
No way.
Because in your life, if you want, here's what I do in my business is I try to, and in my house.
Yeah.
The things that I don't want to do, I systemize it. So it doesn't become a burden. Then I can go into my subconscious mode and get it done.
Got it.
So that helps quite a bit. So that's a personal thing. So if I create a laundry system and I'm always sorting as I go, because I hated sorting laundry. Moms out there, I know you hate sorting laundry. So I created 3 baskets and you do it as you go. So don't be hard on yourself. Create systems, because systems will help you in your day and your life. Your life will become manageable. Then you are able to manage work, family, and yourself. That's the only way.
Yeah.
That would be my advice to those amazing moms. You can do it. Yeah. And it's just, how bad do you want it? Now that's the question.
Yeah. That's a good one. Well, Tina, I had a great time and I learned a lot from your answers as well. I took some mental notes already. I'm going to apply it. And I'm happy, and I want to recognize that both of our daughters, your daughter and my daughter, are in the background. They're switching the cameras, and I'm sure they learned some stuff too. So thank you guys for helping us.
Thank you, Melissa and Monica. Credits to our girls, our oldest girls.
So thank you, Tina. Maybe in the future we'll do more podcasts together and we can choose a different topic, be more specific, a little bit more about our business. But I appreciate your time coming here.
Sounds good. Awesome.
All right, Tina. Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you again for watching this podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share in your pages. See you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.